university students fleeing campus turmoil in Hong Kong can attend lectures at colleges in Taiwan to continue their studies, the island's Ministry of Education said on Wednesday.
Here's a summary of the article.
The extradition bill, which would have allowed transfers of fugitives to jurisdictions with which Hong Kong lacks a formal deal, including mainland China and Taiwan, was partly motivated by solving the Chan case, the government previously claimed. The Hong Kong and Taiwan governments both toughened their stances on Monday, each demanding the other side's cooperation in an escalating row over the man's fate. In Taiwan, President Tsai Ing-wen said it was the Hong Kong government who put politics before justice. Since Hong Kong people visit many countries, and if similar things happen in other countries and Hong Kong continues to deal with the cases in such a manner, it would be a serious headache to other governments. Before a session of Taiwan's Legislative Yuan on Tuesday morning, Premier Su Seng-chong stressed that both sides had jurisdiction over the case, but Chan, being in a Hong Kong prison, was more accessible to Hong Kong and it was more convenient for the city's government to deal with him, to avoid a judicial vacuum and let a major suspect run around. The Hong Kong Bar Association previously suggested that the city's government consider amending the law to empower the court to handle overseas criminal cases involving Hong Kong suspects. Tu, who had just returned from Taiwan meeting officials on Monday, also urged the Hong Kong government to have formal discussions with Taiwanese authorities, to hand over evidence where possible.
This post received a score of 29,691, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Well, since it is all one country, can't see how the mainland government could possibly complain about external interference. Edit. S. You are absolutely correct, it is all one country, mainland China belongs to Taiwan.
Republic of China is best China.
Republic of China is better China. Taiwan still has a few problems. Luckily those problems don't involve human right violations.
But since there are only two Chinas currently aviable, and, even if we include past Chinas, those past ones were rather horrible for the common Chinese, doesn't that make Taiwan the best China indeed? Even the pre-World War II ROC, it virtually fell apart into warlord-run fiefs with the central government holding little to no power after Yuan Shikai died.
The main reason for that was Yuan Shikai being completely off the rocker though.
Which only helps the argument that the first ROC 2 was an inferior China compared to best China.
Yeah, agreed, that whole period is like a comedy. INB4 China threatens Taiwan tomorrow.
They can't threat Taiwan directly because then China would recognize Taiwan as a country. They will say something like, there will be consequences for those rebels in South China.
They can and they do, They just don't mention the government of Taiwan directly and point fingers at the local authorities and the forces of the independence of Taiwan in their statements.
Taiwan is taking some incredible risks in supporting Hong Kong. The rest of us should take note.
It is not a risk. Taiwan has to support Hong Kong, because if Hong Kong falls, Taiwan will be next. They are in the same boat. Or at least, extremely similar boats. Taiwan is coming to Hong Kong's protesters' defense in order to get more countries around the world to do the same. Because if Hong Kong goes over and no one protests, then China will know that they can take Taiwan also and still no one will protest.
Gotta love Taiwan.
I mean, Taiwan probably wouldn't be Taiwan without the current China. It'd just be the same mainland with a different leadership.
Please, elaborate.
Well, the original Chinese government that fled to Taiwan was also authoritarian. And stayed as such until the leader died and it reformed. And if left in charge of mainland China and its billion people, they likely would have stayed the same. China is historically authoritarian. It's so large with so many groups that trying to reform it all would be a global project. Not saying it's impossible, just very unlikely. Some things may be different.
I see what you're saying. One major difference is the original Chinese government had the backing of the U.S. during the Civil War. Do you think that allying with the United States from the beginning would have made a difference?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.